Points from Thursday's meeting for him. Gate 2, Nicky Pedersen for Denmark, 20 points in the 2 meetings. Gate 3, Peter Protasevich for Poland in blue, the 96th World Under-21 champion. Gate 3, they hardly come better than Tony Ricardson. On the outside is Todd Wiltshire. A couple of riders moving back from the tapes. The referee tonight is Marek Wojciech, who comes from Katowice in Poland. He's looking down from above. Away goes the starting marshal. Up by the tapes, away on the inside in green goes Alice Drimmel to pick it up. In second place in white there for the Danes is Nicky Pedersen. Moving through now into second place in red. A great ride by Todd Wiltshire. Right at the back in blue. Peter Protasevich on his home track, a disappointment. But a real flyer for the tapes for Alice Drimmel.
Superstar from Alice Drimmel really made that gate 1 pay. Great first corner from Todd Wiltshire where he cut back up the inside and forced through into second place and knocked the reigning World Championship leader out of the way, Tony Ricardson. But Drimmel looks good out front now.
Yes, Drimmel with half the race gone now. The track conditions very wet, but I can tell you, sunshine is about to hit this East of England showground. Conditions could be much better from now on. A bit processional this one, with a lap and a quarter to go. Alice Drimmel for the Czech Republic in green leads, going into the final lap. Todd Wiltshire for Australia in second place. White in third is Nicky Pedersen. In yellow in fourth place, Tony Ricardson, the world champion. And right at the back is Peter Protasevich. Not what we would have picked, but a brilliant ride by this man to take the checkered flag in the green helmet colours. Alice Drimmel. Second in red for Australia is Todd Wiltshire. Third in white for Denmark, that's Nicky Pedersen. And Tony Ricardson, a surprise fourth place to him. Remember tonight, the points as the graphic will show.
Early, isn't it? Yeah, you know, I chose the number 1 because I knew the gate 1 will be perfect, you know. So I thought I can, you know, get the Czech team running. So I did. Hopefully it will end up good. We'll see.
Listen, I know that in the camp, basically the feeling is that you know how strong the Swedes are, you know how strong the Aussies are, and Poland have done it so many times before. But surely, after Thursday night, you guys are right in there.
Yeah, I think we can make a few troubles to the good guys, and I think we can up, you know, and not just last, maybe third, maybe fourth. We will go for it and we'll see.
I don't have to remind you what your father achieved in this sport. Are you trying to follow in his footsteps?
Of course.
That's what I wanted to hear. Back to you guys.
There we see Nicky Pedersen in second place. Todd Wiltshire at this moment in time creeps up the inside, but just there he goes. And I don't believe that his rear wheel actually did cross the line. So it could well be that the result will stand from Heat 1.
For the Czech Republic. That's Heat 1 we have on your screen, I'm afraid. But we can give you the lineup here. In red on the inside, it's Jason Lance for Australia. In blue, Thomas Golob goes from Gate 2 for Poland. Gate 3 is Ronnie Pedersen from Denmark in white. Gate 4, Niklas Klingberg for Sweden. You see it coming up on your screen for heat number 2. Jason Lance on the inside, Thomas Golob Gate 2, Ronnie Pedersen Gate 3, Niklas Klingberg for Sweden Gate 4, 7 points.
And the Danish rider there, Ronnie Pedersen in Gate 3, that hasn't been favourable so far in this 5-rider format.
Oh, and straight into the takes first. For my money goes Jason Lance, who will have to be the man excluded here. Remember, with FIM regulations, and the referee has immediately excluded the rider in red, Jason Lance. The referee has immediately excluded Jason Lance, the man in red, as the cause of the stoppage.
There we see it now. He'll jump any second now. Yeah, he was just impatient, a little bit nervous probably. He just felt that he needed to get away cleanly, but certainly.
Well, you'll bounce back, right, though?
Yep, you bet.
Right, well, he's not in the mood.
For Thomas Golob of Gate 2 here, Tony, to get a nice clean run, because certainly the inside start is the best earlier on here, particularly when conditions are wet like they are this
right now. The man in green won the first heat. Could he do it again? A fly from Thomas Golob up the inside for Poland in blue. The man in white in second place is Ronnie Pedersen, who races well on this track. Moving through in yellow there for Sweden is Niklas Klingberg. And Klingberg goes through on the inside, but down comes Ronnie Pedersen. And our referee will probably have to stop it, and has again, with Ronnie Pedersen going down. And that I'm sure our referee will want to see again, because Ronnie Pedersen was in second place. Niklas Klingberg was challenging for that position. Thomas Golob was out in front, and the referee will have to decide whether that man was brought down.
Yeah, here we'll see it again. Ronnie Pedersen, as Klingberg enters there, he's just he just about got half his bike in front of Ronnie Pedersen, and then Pedersen seemed to react to try and lean on him. They clashed as they went down. The track conditions are slippery, and his left leg was taken from him, and down he went.
And also, what the controversy is on turn 2.
Well, I mean, of course, it was a close corner with Ronnie, you know, and I think, I mean, that was the right decision by the referee. It was close, but he went down, so I can't complain about that. But it's so easy to see down from here that the riders are crossing the grass going out of the corner. And there's just a mark. If you go out there and have a look, there's just a straight line where riders just gone right through it.
But the front wheel is allowed to go across, right?
I know, but it's the back wheel too going straight through.
And that is cheating.
Well, Jason Grump came up and said to me that there was a rider going straight through there. So I know it's difficult for the referee to see there, but it's the inside line at the moment. So maybe later in the race they'll be on the fence, so we don't have a problem.
You've got a tough job because obviously things like this are going to happen all night. It's the biggest event in the world tonight. Everybody's going to have a complaint about something. You've got to keep your guys together, right?
Yeah, we're going to keep them together. We're going for it. I mean, everything more than the 4th place we're going to be happy with. We're happy to be in the final. If we get a medal, we're very, very happy. But I mean, it's not to, I think we all get on our toes. It's not to sort of cheat and be after people and get them out, you know. I just think it's got to be a fair go for everyone. So, but the referee made a good point. He said the flag referee's got to watch it a bit more down there. So, I mean, that's probably fair enough. So, let's see what happens now.
Thanks, chance excluded. Thomas Golov on his own there from gate 2 in the blue helmet colours for Poland. A blank space for the absent Ronnie Pedersen, gate 3. Nicholas Klingberg for Sweden is gate 4. 4 laps coming up in 2. Away we go on the inside. Thomas Golov has plenty of space in yellow. Giving him a race is Nicholas Klingberg. At the back in green, that's Thomas Topinka. Remember, the pole's in blue. In yellow, it's Sweden throughout the meeting. In green, that's the Czech Republic. That's her eye here now. Golov in front. In 2nd place is Klingberg. 3rd now is Topinka. And they seem to be riding with some care, Kelvin.
Yeah, there's no incident so far in this race. Pretty much straightforward first lap there. Golov got away, came under a little bit of pressure from Klingberg, but he's held the inside line. And at the moment, it's 1, 2, 3, and no fireworks flying at the moment.
Thomas Golov down the back straight, having time to look back with some comfort here. The 4 points here would be valuable to the Poles. Remember, they were scoreless in the first outing. The Australians admitted from this now. So too are the Danes, but into 2nd place there in yellow. Necessary points too coming for Sweden. Thomas Topinka at the back. The 2 points here will be enough to keep the Czech Republic in the lead with 2 heats gone. But Thomas Golov in the blue helmet colours wins it. I think only just, but I think Golov got that, but he nearly had a real surprise for the man in yellow, Nicholas Klingberg, and Thomas Topinka 3rd in green, but for my money, desperately close, but I think it was Golov getting it. Thomas Golov on the line just.
He just got caught out a little bit coming out of that last corner, just spun up on the slick stuff.
And Lucas Drimmel in green goes to the Czech Republic. He's on gate 2. Peter Carlson for Sweden in yellow, gate 3. Krzysztof Cegielski for Poland in blue, gate 4. And Charlie Jada, the young Dane, goes from the outside. They wear the white helmet colours throughout the meeting. He's following, he has to place 5. He's satisfied now. Green lights on. Up by the takes and away they go. And a great start on the inside for Lee Adams, moving in behind him in yellow there, and working well is Peter Carlson, but coming through very rapidly, young Charlie Jada. And in 3rd place in yellow is Peter Carlson. Surprising the back, Lucas Drimmel, but he now moves into 4th place to relegate the pole. Krzysztof Cegielski to last. But what a start by Lee Adams.
Fantastic get away from Lee Adams, real class. Nice clean sweep around the inside on the first turn. Great move by Jada, but Peter Carlson's now moved through into 2nd place. Lucas Drimmel back in 4th. Surprisingly, the pole right at the back.
Lee Adams it is in front there, as you see on your screen. They're now stretching out behind him because the man in yellow in 2nd place, that's Peter Carlson. A big gap now to Charlie Jada in 3rd. Lucas Drimmel in 4th place with some comfort now. And the surprise for me is Krzysztof Cegielski right at the back as they stretch out now round the final lap. Half a lap to go for Lee Adams, but those guys are battling for the minor places in white there. Certainly Charlie Jada looks set for 3rd place, but the winner, no doubt about it, in red is Lee Adams. 2nd place in yellow goes to Peter Carlson. The man in white for Denmark in 3rd place is Charlie Jada, and 3rd certainly Lucas Drimmel getting 4th place. And
It gets back to the better of him as they enter the next corner, and very surprising Krzysztof Cegielski at the back there. He had so much speed at Eastbourne.
Jonathan Green is with our heat winner of the pits.
Yeah, my first question to Lee is how are the conditions out there?
They're not ideal, you know, but I think they're going to get better. Once the dirt seems to get turned over, I think it's going to make a lot of dirt, a lot of material, and you know, we're going to be up pretty high by the end of the night, I think.
It's an important one for you. You guys needed one on the board, didn't you?
Yeah, without a doubt, Jason, you know, he's just very nervous, but you know, it's not over. We've got a long way to go, and we've got some great riders here that like Peterborough, so fingers crossed.
It's the beauty of the format. There's plenty of time to get it right.
Yeah, we got that joker in hand if things get really bad.
All right, fair enough.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Here in Britain, we look across the lineup. Yannick Hampel goes to the inside for Poland in blue. Gate 2 there is Peterborough, top scorer at Sheffield for the Czech Republic. He's in green. Gate 3, Michael Carlson. Gate 4 is Jason Crump for Australia, unbeaten in the World Cup last year. Hans Andersen goes for Denmark on the outside gate, the pool rider. And certainly with 11 points and pulled in impressive form in the World Cup so far. Another good racing prospect.
Hampel riding so well for the Poles earlier in the week.
Yes, Yannick Hampel, very impressive down at Eastbourne. Again, they're in line. Remember, 5 riders, same helmet colours throughout. A referee holds them and takes. The takes nearly went there. Nearly flying into them was Hans Andersen. Andersen now is edged wide indeed by Peterborough. How he stayed on, I do not know. But out front in blue, Yannick Hampel riding just as he did at Eastbourne. Second place held by Michael Carlson. Moving into third place now, Peterborough in green. In red in fourth is Jason Crump with work to do. And right at the back in white is Hans Andersen. But what a ride by Yannick Hampel.
Yeah, Hampel picking up from where he left on Tuesday night. So good at Eastbourne. A great performance so far here in this race. Jason Crump missed the start, but he's battling away and he's putting Michael Carlson under a lot of pressure at the moment.
Yes, certainly wide out front is Yannick Hampel, looking good for the Poles now and looking them set perhaps for a World Cup title here. Back in second place, Michael Carlson for Sweden. He's now being put under pressure with a lap and a quarter to go by Jason Crump, who's making ground, has already gone past Peterborough. Crump is in on the hunt, and Crump in pursuit down the back straight there in the red helmet colours. Hampel, though, is way out front. Hampel set for the checkered flag. Crump is still coming in third place. He will have to be content, but he certainly gets that third place behind the man in yellow, Michael Carlson for Sweden. But the man in green takes fourth place, Peterborough, after almost causing carnage on the first bend, but a good win.
Yeah, it's the track is very wet right now, but I'm winning the start. You know, I have a gate number 1, and gate number 1 is very good right now. And then I race the first, and you know it's very good because. But raining, right now raining, and it's not so good weather right now.
Yeah, well, let's hope it clears up for you. Best of luck for the rest of the night, and back to you guys.
Goes for Sweden on the inside, the Eastbourne rider. For Denmark, Gate 2, man of the moment, Bjarne Pedersen, certainly on form in this World Cup so far. Gate 3, Ryan Sullivan, the track record holder for Australia, a home rider here for Peterborough. Tony Kasper, the veteran Czech, I think he's just won his 7th Czech championship, goes from Gate 4 and on the outside.
Gate 3 position.
Yes, I know Kelvin doesn't fancy it at the moment, nor does Ron Sullivan. He's in trouble, and Ron Sullivan goes right across the track, bundles into the man in blue, Greg Valasek. Sullivan completely losing control, and I'm sure the referee will exclude him. I've never seen Ron Sullivan on this track do that. We'll have to look at the exclusion lights. Our referee may wish to see it again, but certainly that man there in blue, Greg Valasek, wasn't it?
Well, he's out of control and just takes the front wheel away from Valasek, and down he goes. He's left with absolutely nowhere to go, and
nowhere to go. Indeed, the referee's put all 4 back in. That's a surprise, Kelvin.
Well, all 5 actually, Tony, but here we'll see it again. Ryan Sullivan lifting, bounces into Bjarne Pedersen, and then just takes the front wheel away from Valasek, and really is far wider than anybody else. Here we see it again. Bjarne Pedersen lifting. Now we'll see Ryan Sullivan all out of control, the front wheel wild out in the air, and then he just goes straight across in front of Valasek, and to be perfectly honest, that was quite generous from the referee to put all 5 riders back.
Let me put you on the spot, Kelvin. You're the referee, Mr. Wojcik. Would you have excluded him?
I think I would have had no option there, because certainly Ryan was out of control as he entered the first corner.
Well, it's a strange decision, but it was a strange moment. It's not often you see someone like Ryan going that far wide.
No, it's obviously, you know, didn't mean to do that, but that's what first corner's all about. You know, anything can happen. There's 5 riders on a track that really not designed for 5 riders, and things like that happen.
It's not been the perfect start for the boys, has it?
No, it's a classic. It's going to be a classic match tonight. I think it's you know, we're struggling again. We've had an exclusion, and you know, Jason Crump, they're having a good third, so to speak, coming from the back. So no, it's a big hill to climb.
We were at the beginning of this, obviously beginning of the World Cup, worried about what it would be like here with 5 riders across here at Peterborough. We only had 1 crash on Thursday. Have you been surprised by that fact?
I certainly have. I expected, you know, to have more first bend incidents than we have had. We normally have more of this on normal league matches where there's only 4. So, but I think what's come into this is we're putting 5 riders in it. We've got really, every time we got 5 of the best riders in the world on the start, so I think that's helping as well.
And it would be surprising if everybody else is given just a little bit more because of what it is.
Oh, certainly. That's what it's all about. It's for your country, and we all give 110.
All right, best of luck to you.
Yellow. Bjarne Pedersen, the man about whom we were speaking, goes from gate 2 in white. Gate 3 is Ron Sullivan, perhaps the cause of the mayhem on that first bend. First time riders. He moves away. The tape's held, but up they go. Up they fly. And certainly a flyer for Stefan Andersson in front now. But round moves Ron Sullivan in red. And on this track, it's surprising that 1 goes by him. 2 go by him. You don't normally see that of Ron Sullivan at Peterborough. And the leader now is Stefan Andersson for Sweden. For Denmark, Bjarne Pedersen second place. Ron Sullivan third in red. And back in blue is Greg Valasek. Right at the back, Tony Casper.
Well, Stefan Andersson got away nicely, but just drifted a little bit wide. Ryan Sullivan turned up the inside, got too much grip, lifted, nearly clouted the fence. But and then the Sweden, the Dane gone by him. But Ryan Sullivan riding a fantastic corner there.
Right, the battle for second place there, of course. Ron Sullivan moves through on the inside, round that pit's bend, right through on the inside of Bjarne Pedersen. But still, Stefan Andersson picking his line on the track with a lap to go. And Stefan Andersson, a bit of a surprise packet, a late replacement, of course, for Andreas Jonsson in the Swedish side. But he is doing his part here to keep the Swedes in front. And Stefan Andersson is going to win this one with some comfort. And he does in the end. But Ron Sullivan gets through into second place in red. Third place in white for the Danes, once again for Bjarne Pedersen, and Poland have to be content with 4th place in the blue helmet colours there for Greg Valasek.
Bjarne Pedersen as they entered the first corner later on in the race, and a very forceful move, but a fair one as it turned out. But a very good ride from Sullivan, but an even better one from Stefan Andersson.
For failing to reach the tapes, it's a pretty harsh decision, because what held him up was the public address wires across the centre green.
Yeah, unbelievable scenario that is, and he had 2 races on the trot and obviously was up against time anyway. He rushed across the centre green and then just got caught up with the wiring there on the grass.
Well, they're going without him, and away goes heat number 6, and there we go. And on the inside in green, that's Thomas Topinka, but he's headed down by the rider in white. Hans Andersson in red, chasing him down the outside. Todd Wiltshire comes through to pick up the lead for the Australians. Packing in 2 behind him in the yellow helmet colours. That's Peter Carlson. We're going wider and wider. Hans Andersson has found a line, and he will now pursue that line round the outside in pursuit of Todd Wiltshire.
Yeah, good first corner there from the Dane, but Todd Wiltshire turned back up the inside and got his wheel in front. But oh, here comes Andersson back in the picture.
Yes, Andersson, Wiltshire will come back on the inside and does now. It's a ding-dong battle. Andersson in white, almost on the grass, taking the man in red, Tom Wiltshire wide.
Will he do it again,
Wiltshire will
Tony?
come back up the inside and does on that bend. And with just a lap and a quarter to go, remember, Andersson for Denmark in white, Wiltshire for Australia in red. Back in 3rd place, Peter Carlson in yellow. Right at the back is Thomas Topinka, but these 2 are having the race of the night. There goes Wiltshire on the outside, going the long way round. Will he kid him? Will he come back up the inside? Will he come again, Wiltshire? No, he doesn't. It's won in the end by the man in white. What a race for Hans Andersson, ahead of Todd Wiltshire in red for the Australians. 3rd in yellow is Peter Carlson. Back at the rear in green is Thomas Topinka. Remember, Greg Valasek.
Wiltshire trying the inside line again, gets in front of him, but they swap that position. They seem to sort of like swap it each time, and all of a sudden Hans Andersson now decides that it's his turn to go underneath. And it was a hell of a race, and certainly the race of the night so far.
And in the pits, the winner of the previous race was Stefan Andersson. He's with Jonathan Green.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. And obviously, pressure was on you at the beginning of the week, knowing that obviously Andreas Jonsson, who's been flying, you had to replace.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel quite a lot of pressure on me. I shouldn't really, because it's almost everyone is Grand Prix rider. So, but I'm well happy with my first one. I think the inside gate was really good to start with in the meeting, so I feel happy.
Well, you're the only Swede to have won tonight.
Yeah, but I think the rest of the boys, I mean, it's so awkward out there. If you miss the start, it's so awkward to pass. So hopefully the rain stops and we'll be able to win more races.
But you feel good, yep?
Yeah, so far so good, yeah.
All right, best of luck to you.
A joker who would count double points. No move in that respect yet. We have the lineup now on your screen for heat number 7. On the inside is Peter Protasiewicz for Poland, who need a win in blue. Gate 2, Michael Carlson in yellow for Sweden. Lucas Drimmel goes in green for the Czech Republic. Gate 3 is Jason Lance, unfortunately first time out on the inside gate. There in white is Bjarne Pedersen. We know his capabilities. We know what sort of rider he is these days. Away goes that Starling Marshall up by the tape. Protasevich holds it on the inside, picks up the lead, but now the chase is on for the man in white. Bjarne Pedersen goes right round the field to pick up the lead for Denmark ahead of Protasevich. Now following him in yellow, Michael Carlsen picks the same line to move into second place. Back in fourth place in green is Lucas Trimmel, right to the back in red. That's Jason Lyons, but some riders picking a different line from others, and it's profited for the front two.
Certainly Bjarne Pedersen seems to have found a line a little bit wider, and he got a great run around the first corner and went straight by Protasevich, as did Michael Carlsen as they came into the third and fourth corner on the first lap. But certainly the Scandinavians are dominating this race.
And the racing line seems to be moving wider and wider. Right at the back in red, Jason Lyons not having a great World Cup. In they go to the final lap with Bjarne Pedersen in front of Michael Carlsen. Denmark ahead of Sweden. Remember the colours, they stay in these throughout the meeting. Denmark in white, Sweden in yellow. Third place for Poland, Peter Protasevich in blue. A battle at the back, now seeing Lucas Trimmel holding off his man to take fourth place here. But a brilliant ride there in all white for Denmark by that winner Bjarne Pedersen. Ahead of in yellow, second place fellow Scandinavian Michael Carlsen. Peter Protasevich in blue took third place, having led from the start. Back in fourth was Lucas Trimmel in green.
And the smile on your face says it all.
Yeah, you know, the track is a little tricky out there tonight, but I gave really good gate and go around in the outside, so in the dirt out there, and it's working really good.
Like you say, it's a bit tricky out there. Is most of the grip on the outside?
Yeah, I think we'll move a little more out in the track now. It's slip on the inside, and when you hit the dirt, it's really heavy.
Not a lot of room out there either, is there?
No, but that was okay.
I like to see that smile. The Danes are smiling at the moment.
8 points behind the team in front. At the moment, Poland and the Czechs could have played their joker with the leader Sweden on 19. That's not the case at the moment. Golob is in this one, could have been a tactical joker off gate 1 in blue for Poland.
So,
Lee Adams gate 2. Sorry, Kelvin. Yeah, you believe that?
Well, absolutely. It's certainly a superb opportunity to play a joker with your top rider coming out of the best starting gate. And it may well be that they've missed an opportunity.
There, man, in green's excluded. Bo Brahel is out, and he won't like that. I can confirm that Bo Brahel for the Czech Republic will be out for tape touching.
Just shows you the tension of tonight, Tony, because Bo Brahel there hardly waited at all. He just charged at the tapes, and just shows you how keened up these riders are. Adams was impressive in his first ride, but certainly that gate 1 does give you that advantage into the first corner. And 8 points here that would be the result of playing a tactical joker if Golob were to win it. Certainly would put the Polish team right back in this meeting.
Riders there. Stefan Andersson in yellow middle gate. Hummel Brahel excluded on the outside. Oh, that's Nicky Pedersen on new machine, but away they go. Golob struggles to keep it in line, but holds it there to take the lead. But the grip is on the outside, and the man on the outside is Lee Adams, not making ground. And Golob holds this. Round the outside now behind him goes Stefan Andersson to try and pick up some distance. And Andersson is making progress to go round Lee Adams right at the back in white. Is a disappointing Nicky Pedersen.
Yeah, good start by Golob. Just for a second there, I thought that Lee Adams may have had the better of him, but Golob made a great first turn and got away. Lee Adams settling down in second place, and Nicky Pedersen putting Stefan Andersson under a lot of pressure as they entered that corner.
Oh, we almost get into Stefan Andersson in third place there. We see Andersson looking back on the inside. He was taken wide. Almost an apology, I think, there from Nicky Pedersen. But out at the front, there's no doubt about the quality of that man Thomas Golob as he goes into the final lap ahead of Lee Adams. Both Grand Prix riders supreme. Nicky Pedersen is back in third place. Golob all over the track, all over his machine indeed. Right at the back now is Andersson, covered in shale from head to foot. But as the checkered flag approaches, it goes to Thomas Golob in blue, ahead of Lee Adams in red. Third place in white goes to Nicky Pedersen, and Stefan Andersson desperately disappointed after his encouraging first lap in yellow for the Swedes, but it's certainly...
Perhaps maybe you should play the joker?
Yeah, I don't know, it's my manager the decision. This track is very good, it's much water. This moment is very good.
But a very good win for you puts you back in the meeting, yeah?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I think that said it.
At the moment are the Czechs.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, that, but certainly they should have played it there, and here we'll see the lineup for this one, Tony.
Look at the lineup. Jason Crump on the inside. Tony Kasper for the Czech Republic, gate 2. World champion Tony Rickardsson, very disappointing first time out. Goes from gate 3. Gate 4, Ronnie Pedersen for Denmark. He suffered an exclusion. And for Poland, Christoph. Gate 9. Remember, 25 heats this meeting. Away they go. Left at the tapes as Tony Casper. But a fly for Jason Crump, who seems to have it right this time. Round the outside in blue goes Krzysztof Cegielski down the back straight to move into second place. He's being followed by Tony Ricardson, who's trying to pick up the line. Has now got third place, but still has work to do as he drops back to fourth. Right at the back is Casper, but Crump has stolen a march on the field.
Fantastic start from Jason Crump on the inside. There we go. And we just see that Ronnie Pedersen's bike stopped there, Tony.
Not a great night for Ronnie Pedersen. No points for the Danes in that one. Mechanical failure for him. It doesn't stop Jason Crump out front here now. The man in second place in blue remains Krzysztof Cegielski. Still work to do for the out of touch and seemingly out of form world champion Tony Ricardson there in third place in the yellow helmet colour. Into the final lap goes Jason Crump, again stretching his lead with every turn of the wheel ahead of Krzysztof Cegielski for Poland. Back in third place for the Swedes is Tony Ricardson. Back at the rear is Tony Casper, who's going to get a consolation point. But the Aussies will remember this ride from Jason Crump in the final countdown for Poland in blue. Cegielski in second place. Tony Ricardson third in yellow. The most disappointing of the Swedes.
Yeah, you know, I think, again, the rain caught us out early on, you know. You know, a couple of races and hopefully we can get back into it. I'm sure it's going to be a long, wet day or evening, and we're going to fight. We want to win this, so it's not over for us yet. We've got a long way to go, and we're all starting to...
I think they all want to win it. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, it's tense, though. So different than last Sunday. Back to you, Tony.
In where it counts. Niklas Klingberg goes to Sweden on the inside. Charlie Jader for the Danes, grade 2. Alice Drimmel in the green helmet colour of the Czech Republic goes in the middle. Ron Sullivan in Australia goes in red from gate 4 on his favourite home track.
A lot of expectation on this race.
Away they go then for heat number 10 as the tapes fly up, and a real flyer on the inside for Niklas Klingberg. But look at the man in blue. Jarek Hampel has come from the outside gate to go by 1, 2, 3 and move into second place. Right at the back is Ron Sullivan, not for the first time tonight, struggling on his home track. But Sullivan now has real work to do, and the poles out front with Jarek Hampel pursued by Niklas Klingberg. Third place now held by Charlie Jader, but here comes Sullivan.
Great move from Ryan Sullivan there. Just went straight between the Swede and the Czechoslovakian rider, and really seems to be picking up the pace now and putting pressure onto the Swede.
Only half the race gone. Has Sullivan got enough to make ground to gain one more place over Niklas Klingberg? Down the back straight they go with a lap and a half to race. But Jarek Hampel, who's looking a super rider in this World Cup, he was truly brilliant at Eastbourne on Tuesday and looking good again now. But here comes Sullivan. Round the pitch bend, Ron Sullivan. He will cut back on the inside and now put Klingberg under some pressure. But the track is running out. Round to the last two bends. Out front in blue, that's Jarek Hampel. He's going to win it. Second place in the end goes to Niklas Klingberg for Sweden in yellow to put them marginally in front. In third place, Ron Sullivan for Australia in red. The man in white is Charlie Jader. 2 is Tony Casper for the Czech Republic, gate 3 in green. Michael Carlson, the Wolverhampton Swede, goes in yellow from gate 3. And on the outside, Thomas Golob goes for Poland. Thomas Golob certainly will have work to do, and Golob tonight
this evening much better than when he was riding at Eastbourne on Tuesday night, and certainly so far this evening he's looked in top form.
Starting marshal again against them in line. This is 11. Watch that man in white, Bjarne Pedersen. Remember, he's the man that counts double. The splendid Danish team spirit. Will he come to the fore? He gets the start he wanted. Will they cut across? The man in blue is Thomas Golob, who's fast. He's picked that racing line and he's down the outside. But Bjarne Pedersen is in second place for double points. Now being pursued by Michael Carlson on the outside where the grip counts. He moves into second place. Back in fourth is Todd Wiltshire right at the rear in green Tony Casper.
Fantastic start from Thomas Golob from the outside. Didn't think that was possible, but he made it. Bjarne Pedersen into second place, and Michael Carlson really going for it in the deep third on the outside.
Well, the Danes may be happy with 6 points, which they get, but Bjarne Pedersen is now challenging for front place. He's got by Michael Carlson again for Sweden. Carlson, remember, in the yellow helmet colour. The man out front wobbling a little bit is Thomas Golob, and with a lap to go, the big pole, 6 times Polish champion, is looking for his fourth win, his third win in 3 rides tonight. He's looking back. He sees Bjarne Pedersen in close attendance. The Danes could be happy with this one, but Golob Golub looks set to take the checkered flag for Poland in blue. Second place, Bjarne Pedersen in white. Third in yellow for the Swedes is Michael Carlsen. Right in red, Todd Wiltshire for the Australians. But the doubling of the points for Bjarne Pedersen will give Denmark 6 points and certainly help their cause.
Move from Michael Carlsen just for a moment. I thought he wasn't going to hang on to it, but he just manages to keep on the bike there, but he gets filled in as he comes off the corner, and he goes straight by Bjarne Pedersen, but he doesn't hang on to it because Pedersen rides a great corner and gets back into that second place and gets 6 points for the Danish team, and a pretty good move there by the Danish team manager Jakob Olsen.
Speedway, but certainly been bedeviled by the weather somewhat. We're waiting now for the riders
somewhat.
to go to tell you about our journey up here in a minute, Kelvin. Right at the start, heat number 12, Krzysztof Cegielski, the blue helmet colours of Poland from the inside. Denmark, Hans Andersen in white. Gate 3, Jason Lyons, disappointing at the moment for Australia. Gate 3, Alice Drimmel for the Czech Republic. Gate 4, rather. Referee is a Pole, Mr. Marek Wojciech from Katowice. Away they go on the inside. Pole to the fore this time is Krzysztof Cegielski in the blue helmet colours, who's got a flyer. Now the pursuit is on, but coming through the pack like a knife through butter is Jason Lyons, sending wide the man in white, Hans Andersen, who comes back well into second place, and maybe he did it deliberately in pursuit of Krzysztof Cegielski. And for Hans Andersen, this is a fairy tale.
Fantastic first lap from Cegielski, but Hans Andersen is riding out of his skin. I've never seen the guy ride so well. He just seems to be so brave and so pumped up, putting the pole under a tremendous amount of pressure.
Having to get the tear-offs off as the shale and the mud and the dirt and the rain gets on the front of his visor. But look at that down the back straight. Krzysztof Cegielski, of course, a rider with Poole last year. Hans Andersen, a rider for Poole now. But the battle in third place is important in this. Coming through now, Jason Lyons, ahead of the Czech Alice Drimmel. Right at the back in yellow to relegate Sweden's chances is Stefan Andersen. But look at the gap there for the man out front. Krzysztof Cegielski, the pole in pole position, is going to take the checkered flag now in blue. A brilliant ride too by Hans Andersen in white. And it has in third place there. I think it went to the man in green, Alice Drimmel.
Yeah, I think so. It was very tight on the line
ahead of the
there.
Australian in red, Thomas Golub. And that was the first heat in which Sweden have gone pointless tonight. But let's look at this here. The second place goes to the man in white for Denmark, certainly there. But there we have, and Australia won't be too pleased with that, but a tremendous ride from 26.
Yeah, we are a little bit dirty and that tastes not really good, so we have to win it now and keep going and be on the top in the end.
We've been talking to the other teams, of course, and I think the weather has caught out a few people. How have the Poles been dealing with it? Because it's not been easy tonight, has it?
Yeah, it's not really easy. The start is most important. But we're trying and we are on the top, so just keep going like that, and we are together, we are talking each other, and that's working.
And gate 1 looks good, but then Thomas can go around the outside from the outside, it seems.
Yeah, Thomas can go everywhere, so...
A useful man to have.
Yep, he will show a few different tricks.
So still confident you feel so you can win this World Cup?
Yes, of course.
All right, they're still confident. Back to you guys.
Yes, they should. Bjarne Pedersen, those in form, going for Denmark on the inside. Tony Ricardson has had a poor night so far. He goes in yellow for the Swedes. Can he make ground? He's in gate 2. Thomas Topinka goes for the Czech Republic in green, gate 3. Jarek Campbell it is for Poland, and he's had a good night so far. He goes in gate 5, and on the outside in gate 5 is Lee Adams of Australia. Kelvin, what do you think's wrong with Tony? Number 3 for him. Golub's had 3 rides, 3 wins. They're going well. Way on the inside though now goes the rider in white, Bjarne Pedersen, to pick up the lead. Round the outside in red is Lee Adams, having to try to move into second place down that back straight, and does, ahead of the man in third, Tony Ricardson. Can Ricardson get back in this? We've lost the man in green, Thomas Topinka, down the back straight. Back in blue for Poland is Jarek Campbell. This will close the order up if it stays like this. Can Tony Ricardson make ground?
I don't know if he can, but Bjarne Pedersen certainly looks good tonight. He looks world class this evening. He's out in front, looking smooth. Ricardson putting a lot of pressure on Lee Adams, but not making any headway at the moment.
Well, it wasn't a bad ride by Hampel, who almost took Ricardson there, and is trying again on that pitch bend, but Ricardson will have grip on the outside to retain third place, but just. He's making no ground on the front two whatsoever. Bjarne Pedersen in white leads again. Ahead of him, red, Lee Adams for Australia, but this will keep it very, very close indeed into the cumulative countdown here. Down the back straight, half a lap to go. Bjarne Pedersen for Denmark in the white helmet colours looks set to win this, barring catastrophe. catastrophe. Second place for the Australians. Lee Adams in red will get to that checkered flag ahead of Tony Rickardson, again in yellow. Rickardson has not made the top two in any of his 3 rides so far. Fourth in blue there. That's Jarek Hampel for the Poles. His first defeat of the night, but it really is getting desperately close. And that Australia 1 point further behind with Sweden, and just 2 points separate the top 4 teams. The Czechs, I have to say, in white for Denmark. Gate 2, Greg Valasek in blue for Poland. Gate 3 is Jason Crump for the Australians in the red helmet colours. Lucas Drimmel for the Czech Republic in green. Nicholas Klingberg for Sweden goes in the outside in yellow. Now the drizzle continues to come down, but the green light's on. The tapes fly up down. Another flyer on the inside. This time for Denmark's Nicky Pedersen. Coming through in blue for Poland is Greg Valasek. Putting him under pressure in green on the outside is Lucas Drimmel, who now goes to the front. But look at the Australian in red, Jason Crump, who's come from nowhere, holding that inside gate. But now he's pushed backwards.
Breast down the straight, Tony. Unbelievable first lap. Throw a blanket over all of them. Fantastic first lap from Jason Crump. He was nowhere and he's come through into second place.
Look at the effort there of Lucas Drimmel, who stretched it while they were battling it for second place. Lucas Drimmel has picked his line now, going wider and wider to more and more grip and extending his lead. But Jason Crump's effort there, with the Czech Republic effectively out of this competition, could be enough to put Australia well and truly back towards the driving seat. A lap and a quarter to go. Lucas Drimmel in the lead for the Czech Republic.
Klingberg stopped. Klingberg's got an engine failure in the middle of that corner. That's disastrous for the Swedes. That puts the Danes back up into third place.
Yes, disaster for Sweden, who of course were in the lead here, and well, these mechanical gremlins have struck, but they haven't struck this man here, as Lucas Drimmel is going to take the checkered flag for the Czech Republic in green, but Jason Crump in red for Australia. Those 3 points will be invaluable ahead of the Danes in white with Nicky Pedersen. A consolation point for Greg Valasek for Poland, who having
makes it on the inside, but we know how that charging style of Jason Crump, and he doesn't give up, and he rides a blinder to get back into second place. But Lucas Drimmel around the outside finds a little bit extra. And we're looking at Jason as he comes off the corner, desperately trying to find a little bit of extra grip down the inside of Valasek. But a superb race, and Jason keeps the Aussies in the hunt.
Well, it's not been a bad night for the Danes so far.
Right now, geeing the rest of them up. You really are working hard tonight.
Yeah, they're really doing the job tonight, my teammates. I could not have done better than they do. They all scoring the point, and they just got and do a really nice job tonight.
And they've all been using your workshop, I hear, this week.
Oh yeah, they could use my workshop, so I've been used, so that's really good.
Tell us what the real feeling is. Can you win this World Cup?
Yeah, if we not have any unlocked later in the meeting, I think we can win it, but it's still a long way to go, and but we fired up for it, and we go for it now.
All right, the Danes.
Here's the lineup, Tony. You take us through it.
Yes, Ron Sullivan on the inside in red for the Australians. Roddy Pedersen, the unfortunate Dane tonight. He's had a bit of ill luck. He's in white gate 2. Bahumel Brahel goes for the Czech Republic. Surprisingly, yet to use a tactical joker. Peter Karlsson for Sweden goes in gate 4. On the outside for Poland, home track specialist here, Peter Protas. You can see how close he is to that. That shouldn't have been allowed. Away they go. Peter Protasevich will have to go wide, but coming through on the inside is Ron Sullivan. Ron Sullivan, the Aussie, picks it up, but Protasevich in blue is moving into second place for Poland, having gone right round the field at the back. Third place occupied by Ronnie Pedersen. On the outside in green, moving back to last place is Bo Brahel. In yellow in third place is Peter Karlsson, but for the Australians, as the Czechs go out again with Bo Brahel, it's a good ride for the man in front, Ron Sullivan.
Ryan Sullivan back to his best here. Superb getaway from that inside start. Protasevich really rode well around the outside the first corner, and we're just seeing him. But Ronnie Pedersen and Karlsson having a real ding-dong fight there.
Yeah, certainly moving into third place there, Ronnie Pedersen, but he's still going to be put under pressure, I'm sure, by Peter Karlsson with a lap and a half to go. But the leader, Ron Sullivan, having just the race he wanted to for the Australians here. Ron Sullivan didn't start exactly as he intended, but certainly now looking impressive here on his home league track, and looking set for his first heat victory of the night for Ron Sullivan in the red helmet colours, and that will put the Australians in the lead. Ron Sullivan will take the checkered flag in red, and does, in second place in blue for Poland. Keeping them very much in contention is Peter Protasevich. Ronnie Pedersen's luck has changed slightly for Denmark into third place. Right at the back of the 4 that finished is Peter Karlsson.
Pressure this time, when Neil Street was intimating that gate 4 and 5, much more difficult to make the start from there.
Well, I think Neil will be quite happy that Todd Wiltshire, his man for Australia, is on gate 1. It's Niklas Klingberg for Sweden, gate 2 in yellow. Krzysztof Cegielski goes for Poland, gate 3 in blue. A tricky gate, that. Bjarne Pedersen of Denmark in white. Has his finger on the button. He waits for this starting marshal to move away. Away they do in red. Todd Wiltshire gets a flyer. This is what they want, but cutting through the inside is Niklas Klingberg to put Sweden back in contention. Coming through in green, a surprise ride by Bahamel Brahel, going round the field to the back.
Cegielski round the
Krzysztof
outside.
Cegielski it was, going round the back, but he's still back in last place. There wasn't room on that bend for the manoeuvre that he intended, but out front, Todd Wiltshire now is ahead of in yellow Niklas Klingberg. The Aussies want this, but look at the battle in third place there between the rider in green, Bo Brahel, and the rider in white on the inside, now relegated to fourth place, is Bjarne Pedersen.
Certainly that Bjarne Pedersen struggling there off that gate 4 position, but out front, there we see Todd Wiltshire taking full advantage of the inside, but just for a moment Klingberg came into the picture, but Wiltshire's back out in front, and Klingberg back in second place.
This will be enough to keep the Aussies in front. The Poles will continue to regret that failure to use the joker when they should have done, with their man in fourth place, but with half a lap to go here in the red helmet colours. Todd Wiltshire wins it for Australia now. Second place in yellow. A good ride there by Nicky Pedersen, and in third place Bahamel Brahel picks up 2 points for the Czech Republic, and Denmark there, it seemed to me, back in last place. Bjarne Pedersen out of touch with Krzysztof Cegielski.
But Wiltshire hits the front. He's in screen now. He drifts a bit too wide though, because Klingberg decides, well, if you're going there, I'm going to go around the inside. He now comes across into the middle of the track and finds a little bit of speed. Wiltshire's just too wide. And just for a moment here, it looks like the Swedes got it under control, but Wiltshire thinks, crikey, no, I'm going to try down the inside, finds a little bit of grip, squeezes straight across in front of the Czech rider and gets back in front. And again, we saw another terrific first lap there from the two front riders, the Australian Todd Wiltshire and Klingberg. And that really does help the Australian cause. They're right back in the lead now, 40 points on the board. And
because the Swedes tactically need to do something. Greeny in the pits, you can explain it.
I'm right here by the Swedish pit, and as you can see, a big conference going on, Michael Carlson in the middle of it. But the situation is this: if Sweden actually do a little bit of tactical work on this, they could actually play the joker. Michael, you've just been looking at the scores here. Are you aware of the situation in what you could do in terms of the possibility of a joker?
Yeah, we just discussed it now. We haven't made a decision though, but we'll see.
Explain the situation. Basically, if you follow the Aussies around now, you could be losing a little bit of points, but putting yourself in a position to play that joker.
Yeah, I think we're looking to play it very soon now. We're going to do it.
What's been the overall feeling in the Swede camp? Because obviously you were one of the favourites tonight, but it's a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, it has been with the setups. Nobody is really doing perfect, you know. So this makes it hard because we got no one in the team to talk to, basically. You know, we're just all trying to find something that works, and we'll just have to see now.
All right, back to you guys.
Away we go. I think the Swedes need a lecture in mathematics. Out front now, Lucas Dribble in green is overtaken by the man young Peter Carlson. But down on the fence bends go Jason Lyons for Australia. Catastrophe for them. It won't help the Swedes as their tactical substitute, but it will help them to catch the Aussies, and maybe they prefer to do it this way, because if Jason Lyons is excluded from this race, from the rerun, it will mean the Aussies are in trouble. He is excluded from the race. Jason Lyons will not partake of the rerun. Remember, the Australians go into the heat 4 points in front and could now be caught by Poland. The Swedes and the Danes could get desperately close as well.
Here we see it again, Jason Lyons desperately trying to get round the outside, and as we just come out of this first corner here he looks like he's got it all under control, but there he just gets a little bit out of shape, and Nicky Pedersen just roars straight across in front of him. From that angle I can't see if he really did clout this front wheel, but here we see it from behind. It may be a better opportunity to see if the two riders do actually come together. Here, Pedersen going across in front of Jason Lyons, and to be honest, Pedersen doesn't leave anywhere for Lyons to go, and certainly I can believe that Neil Street will be on the phone to the referee about that one.
Well, there's all sorts, and will tighten up the World Cup, become more exciting. Lucas Dribble has the joker for the Czechs. The Sweden there now in yellow. They won't be able to use the joker, of course, now because they're bound to catch the Australians here. They're going to get at least a point in this or get within reach.
The Swedes and the Poles can do this time.
Czechs, remember, in the green helmet colour, going for double points, and they get a flyer on the inside from Lucas Drimmel, who could be set for 8 points here tonight now in this race. In second place in yellow for Sweden. Valuable points for them for Peter Karlsson, but going round the outside in white is Nicky Pedersen, making ground and trying to move into second place. Right at the back for Poland. Disappointment for Jarek Hampel, but he's not done yet either. There are 2 races going on, but Lucas Drimmel heads the field down the back straight.
Yeah, great start from Lucas Drimmel off the inside. Superb away there. Hampel completely missed it on gate 3 there, getting it away. Nicky Pedersen doing all the stuff around the outside, looking tremendous, but not quite making it. Peter Karlsson putting Drimmel under a lot of pressure.
Right in the track where Nicky Pedersen is, you have to get it exactly right. He could still do so yet with a lap and a quarter to go. Pedersen in the white helmet colour for Denmark. Going to move into second place round this pit bend now as he takes Peter Karlsson, or tries to, but Karlsson comes through on the inside, mounts a challenge on Drimmel. Drimmel holds on. Into the final bend they go. One of the best races of the night so far. Drimmel in green will hang on to it. Second place goes to Peter Karlsson in yellow for Sweden, and beaten but not disgraced is Nicky Pedersen in white in third place, who battled all the way for the last 3 laps to try and get in contention. Jarek Hampel a little bit disappointing in blue for the Poles there, and hoped to do better, certainly on his early form, but as the track has changed, Denmark 1 behind them, tied with the Swedes. Any of those 4 nations could still win it. The Czechs have closed the gap slightly and could use a tactical substitute still. Goes from the inside gate. Alice Drimmel for the Czech Republic, boosted unsure by that win for Lucas, his brother, goes in gate 2. Gate 3 is Lee Adams for Australia. Don't like that gate, Kelvin, do we? Greg Vallisek, gate 3 in blue. Poland. Michael Karlsson for the Swedes in the outside in yellow.
Certainly it's going to be a pressure race here for Lee Adams. They got away with it in that last one. They're still leading this championship here this evening.
They're doing the event justice. The crowd, a big one here at the East of England Showground. Away they go, and struggling there, the man in green, Alice Drimmel is left, but picking up in white. Out front is Ronnie Pedersen. Round the outside in red goes to pick up the lead, Lee Adams for Australia. Following him round in blue is Greg Vallisek from the back for Poland, relegating the Czech down to 4th place. But the Czech does a brilliant ride. Alice Drimmel there to move into 2nd place, leaving the Swede Michael Karlsson at the back and turning the table at the moment almost on its head. But Lee Adams down the back straight has stolen it for the Aussies to increase their lead.
Fantastic first lap from Lee Adams. Proved us all wrong that gate 3 was so bad. He made it work for him. Alice Drimmel coming through into 2nd place, superb effort, and Michael Karlsson there really struggling again. He was speaking in the pits to Jonathan Green, can't find the right setup tonight, but certainly Lee Adams looks like his bike's working beautifully.
If the Swedish riders have ridden to form, the form we know, they could have been well in charge here, but certainly the big guns have missed out. Michael Karlsson and Tony Rickardson tonight, but not this man. Lee Adams is coming right for Australia at the right time. They went into this heat in the lead, and this man is going to keep them well and truly in the lead. The wheelie across the line for Lee Adams in red. The Czech, Alice Drimmel, gets 2nd place. Are the Czechs to be reborn here? His brother Lucas won the previous race. 3rd in white goes to Ronnie Pedersen, and Michael Karlsson in yellow.
The rest of the Swedish team, hasn't it?
Yeah, sure is, you know. It's a pretty tough track out there, and we haven't really got dialed in. I hope we've done a few changes now, and hope we can come with a last surge push, you know, to climb up again.
If you finished second to Australia in the next one, you could use the Joker. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, sure is. I mean, I'm not really into the team plannings and stuff, you know. I let that to Tony Olsen, but I sure have a few things up his sleeve.
What about you personally? We're so used to you riding around all conditions anywhere in the world, but tonight you seem just a little bit, by your standards, to be struggling.
Yeah, I am struggling, you know. I find the conditions very tough tonight and haven't been making any starts, and it's extremely tough in the race when I've been out behind, so, but I changed bike now and hopefully going to be a little bit better.
Save the best till last?
I sure hope so.
All right, fair enough. Well, the world champion is hoping that it's
7 seconds to go, but he's well on his way to tapes.
Well, this World Team Cup is showing with a vengeance that team racing can be the man in yellow is Stefan Andersson, is playing his part for Sweden. There is Alice Drimmel in as a tactical substitute. Remember, he doesn't get double points as a tactical sub. They play their joker. It's Alice Drimmel. Away they go. Drimmel again gets a fly, but on the outside, Jason Crump is going to provide the main threat because he's picking a racing line that gets grip and moves into 2nd place and goes out in pursuit of Alice Drimmel. Goes wide round Alice Drimmel. Drimmel takes him wide. Crump will have to come back up the inside and does. Back down at the back, a machine flying. Oh dear, the referee has to stop that, and the Dane Charlie Jader has bundled into the fence below us here and is none too comfortable is Charlie Jader there.
No, I think that's Stefan Anderson. It's Stefan Anderson. It was a tremendously high-speed accident, that, and I think that was not against the air fence. He just missed it on the straight, and that was quite a big impact, and certainly so far we might well be able to see that again, and it will be interesting to see exactly what happened. It was right beneath. I didn't quite see it, but certainly Jason Crump was putting a lot of pressure onto Dremel as we came by. Here we see it now. There's Dremel out in front. Here we see Stefan Anderson out of shape in the deep stuff on his own, and he just slides bang straight into the safety fence with his back. And I'm sure he's feeling very sore.
Not a great week for Eastbourne riders. Tony Sparb, Mark Laram and Stefan Anderson, all in the space of 5 days, all taking a tumble in World Cup practice or event.
Yeah, I'm sure that their promoters, John Cook and Terry Russell, are just feeling, crikey, what else can go wrong for us? But that was an accident all in it.
It's very, very hard.
Yeah, it's very tough, isn't it?
Yeah, he's pushing him out there for different. The referee didn't see it the right way.
So you're feeling Protasevich just pushed him too wide?
Yeah.
All right,
well, I heard, I don't know what you call it, the bottom of the back.
Yeah, sternum, yeah, the coccyx.
Yeah, I've heard that, so it's probably to sit down, but I lay there for a while. I feel a bit better. Hopefully I can sit on the bike, but I just can't understand what the referee did, that decision. I mean, I know he went run straight into me. No doubt about it, straight into me. You must see it on the TV.
Well, we've had a look at it. What did Tony just say to you?
No, you see how I was, and I just have to go out in my next one, whatever how I feel. Doesn't matter what I feel. Otherwise, we're going to run clean. We're going to do a joking in the next one. So I have to go down and see if I can ride or not. I have to try, but I see the decision.
Well done again. You're trying hard.
See the lineup. And
there's the lineup. Alice Dremel on the inside in blue for the Czech Republic as a tactical substitute. Stefan Anderson, we heard, excluded. It's Charlie Jader for Denmark in white. Peter Protasevich goes for Poland. Perhaps a shade lucky to be in the rerun of this one after that little incident with Stefan Anderson. About to get underway here. Away goes our starting march. Just 4 riders in the restart. Jason Crump with a flyer from the outside, but a good start on the inside by the Czech Alice Dremel. And the Dremel brothers have now had 3 heats in a row. Could the Czechs dramatically get back into this? Crump is in pursuit of Dremel. In white in 3rd place, Charlie Jader. Right at the back for Poland, Peter Protasevich. But Alice Dremel is flying.
Fantastic start from Dremel around the inside and really riding a nice tight line and keeping his speed up. Jason Crump desperately trying the outside line again, but just not trying to be able to generate the speed he normally does. But here he comes. Crumpy's not giving in.
Crumpy certainly not giving in. Nearly half the race still to go. He's in pursuit, but Alice Dremel could be set to win another heat, and this is a purple patch at the moment. And looking ahead to those jokers possibly in the next heat, the Australian in 2nd place will be enough to allow both Poland and Sweden to use a joker. This heat's not over though. Down the back straight goes Alice Dremel in green. He looks back. Crump is still trying. Crump is going to come round the outside. Will he dive back on the inside? Crump is keeping going. Dremel looks both ways, enough to see him win it ahead of Jason Crump in red. 3rd in white is Charlie Jader for the Danes, and disappointment for the Poles at the back, with Peter Protasevich in blue taking a consolation point in 4th place. Denmark 40, Poland 38, Sweden 37. Jokers eligible for both of them, but the Czechs are gaining ground in
the respect of the Poles and the Swedes.
Thomas Gollum, unbeaten so far tonight, goes to the unfavoured gate 3. But Tony Rickardsson, if he races like a world champion, we know he is, he could produce 8 points, and the Swedes really back in contention. Ron Sullivan for Australia. They head by 7, the 2nd place team, who are now Denmark. 5 riders, 5 nations. Red Australia, blue Poland, white is Denmark, yellow Sweden, green to the front goes Lucas Dremel, but he pushed out there, and Lucas Dremel has an engine failure. The Czechs' hopes have gone here now as Lucas Dremel is out, but down the back straight in red goes Ron Sullivan to head Tony Rickardsson in 2nd place. Coming through is Thomas Gollum to battle the world champion. Rickardsson needs to have the race of his life here now in pursuit of track specialist Ron Sullivan. Gollum is going by Rickardsson as well, tailed off his Hans Anderson, but can they catch Ron Sullivan?
Oh, I don't think they can now. Sullivan just went straight by Rickardsson, no problem at all. Tony did ride a hard first corner, but Sullivan just generated all that speed. Got to put a bit of pressure onto Rickardsson, but right now it looks settled that Rickardsson's holding on to that 2nd place and 6 points at the moment.
Ricardson involuntary lifting of his machine, not looking the man totally in command of track conditions we normally see. Tony Ricardson, a maximum, of course, down at Paul in midweek in the qualifier for this, but not the same rider tonight. Nevertheless, he will pick up 6 points as his totals doubled here for the Joker. But Ryan Sullivan in red puts the Australians in command. Tony Ricardson, second place, is enough to earn him 6 points. Thomas Golob beaten for the first time tonight for Poland. He's in third place. They'll need to use their Joker next time out to make any ground at all. 51 of the leaders. Sweden on 43 have used their Joker. Denmark on 41 have used a Joker. Poland can use a Joker. The Czechs are
working well. Hampel's been going pretty well this evening. Sorry, you run through the lineup, Tony.
Lucas Drimmel is the man on the inside for the Czech Republic in green. Jarek Hampel goes in blue for Poland. Todd Wiltshire in red for Australia. Peter Carlson is in as a tactical substitute for Sweden. Remember, they can use a tactical substitute, becoming fairly wide. The man on the inside Drimmel well wide, almost taking the line of Jarek Hampel. Away goes the starting marshal. Hampel keeps it down to lead them into that first bend. The Australians are in second place, but now Todd Wiltshire's been overtaken on the outside by Ronnie Pedersen. And if it stays like this, this will be what Poland want to do, but they may, just may not be able to use a tactical Joker. Let's see what happens. Jarek Hampel out front in blue, heading the man in white, Ronnie Pedersen for Denmark. Australia's Todd Wiltshire third, now being put under pressure by Peter Carlson. The tactical sub for Sweden, Lucas Drimmel, on a strange bike, is at the back.
Yeah, Hampel back to his best. He got a great start off gate 2, hit the front and really has got a lot of pace. There, Ronnie Pedersen hanging on to second place. Wiltshire putting him under all sorts of pressure. But again, I do question the tactics from Poland. I think they should have played the Joker here, Tony.
You're absolutely right, because if it finishes like this, they'll only be 7 points behind and won't be able to use it as they go into the final lap now. Lucas, Jarek Hampel out front for the Australian. Coming through into second place is Todd Wiltshire. Really, the Poles want the Australian to finish second, I have to say. But now into third place goes the man in white. There in second place is, Jarek Hampel wins in blue. Second place in white. There is Ronnie Pedersen. Third in the red helmet colours there, Australia, Todd Wiltshire. This heat. Jason Lyons has not had a great night, but let's see what happens here now, because Thomas Golob can close the gap. Thomas Golob in the blue helmet colours there goes from gate 3 as a tactical Joker for Poland, which means his points are doubled. The tactical substitute for Denmark, Nicky Pedersen, is in the white helmet colours in gate 4. He can come in. Heat 22 could be crucial. They've got to change. Kasper is in green in place of Bo Brahel. A late replacement here for the Czech Republic as a tactical
and the Poles
substitute.
at the back, Golub's at the back, Tony.
Yes, Thomas Golob has to go by 1. He goes by Kasper. Thomas Golob has an awful lot of work to do. It's not going right for the Poles. But out front now for the Swedes, that's Tony Ricardson. And Tony Ricardson is leading a heat tonight at last here in the yellow helmet colours. In second place in red, that's Todd going well. That's
Jason Lyons.
Yeah, Jason Lyons got it right there.
And here comes the dame around the outside. Nicky Pedersen gets around the outside of Jason Lyons. But out front, Tony Ricardson really looks like back to his best. But again, I think the Poles may have just blown it, because certainly Golob looks stuck back there in fourth place.
Yes, they've completely blown the tactical substitute, the Poles, but the Swedes, Tony Ricardson, has got it right at last for them here now, going into the final lap ahead of the man in white, Nicky Pedersen. He's in as a tactical substitute for the Danes. The Australian Jason Lyons is putting him under pressure, but this will be enough to keep the Australians in command as they take the checker flag, and Tony Ricardson does it in yellow. Second place in white goes to the tactical sub, Nicky Pedersen for the Danes. Third in red is Jason Lyons for Australia, and fourth in blue is Thomas Golob, whose 1 point is doubled, but that's certainly not enough for the Poles, and I think a tactical...
Yeah, sure was. Been struggling a little bit all night and swapped bike for the last 2 rides, and a little bit wrong geared in my 4th race, and now was spot on, but a little bit too late.
What were you telling the lads just now?
I just told them, you know, how I set my bike up, and advised them maybe to try the same, see if they can get going a little bit better. I think we've been lacking a little bit on the setup.
All right, so obviously the setup has changed for Sweden.
On the inside, Hans Andersen in white goes for Denmark. Gate 2 for Poland, Peter Protasiewicz. Gate 3 in yellow, Niklas Klingberg. Lee Adams for Australia in red goes from gate 4. The Australians really very much in pole position now to win this World Cup. In green on the outside is Bo Brahel.
certainly the Aussies really are in the driving seat.
Adams goes for Australia, who lead the field at the moment. The red helmet colours, but on the inside, Hans Andersen gets a flyer in white ahead of it. Second place in blue for Poland, Peter Protasevich. Round the outside goes the tactical substitute, Bo Brahel, for the Czech Republic. Now the Aussie Lee Adams is moving into third place. Relegated to the back is Peter Protasevich, who's had a disaster and has failed at the back, and Poland are well and truly out of this now. Moving into fourth place rather, Niklas Klingberg for Sweden, but the Aussie in second place is Lee Adams, out in pursuit of the Dane, Hans Andersen.
Yeah, pretty tough first lap for Lee Adams there. He looked like he was stranded at the back round the first corner, but he's picked his way through in the second place. Hans Andersen out front looking good at the moment, but the Swede back in fourth place. That's undoing all the good work that Rickardsson did in the previous one, and Brell really just getting in the way, to be quite honest, because the Czechs are out of it. But very nearly out of control there, but just about hands on to Andersen.
Into the final lap goes Henderson in front, but only just. Australia in second place, but Australia could be world champions if it stays like this. Australia's in the red helmet colours. They've got to win it, and they're not going to here, and they need one more race at least.
Lee Adams was awfully lucky there. His bike packed up as he went across the line, but he's got the points in the bag, and he'll be...
I think he just held on to second place there,
yes,
Kelvin, but I think his chain came off at the back in the end.
Yeah.
And he's one of the riders that has a chain guide, so something's gone wrong.
Yeah, a chain actually just snapped as he went across the start and finish line, but great ride from this man on screen, Hans Andersen. Tremendous celebrationary wheelies down the straight, but Lee Adams there just obviously had some bad luck and good luck all at the same time.
Sweden 49, Poland 46. The Australians are on the brink with 2 heats to go of winning the World Cup.
One other team.
I would say there was a bit of a stroke of luck there. You know, I felt weird. You know, it was like slip and chain, or something was happening during the heat. It felt like a flat tyre, but obviously it was something to do with the chain, because it came off just as I went across the line. So you know, a bit of luck. We got the 2 points, or the 3 points, I guess, and. You know, all the boys are really pumped. We don't want to let it slip now. You know, we've got some pretty fiery characters coming up with Ryan and Jason, so fingers crossed.
58 to 51, it's 7 points, but I tell you what, the start of this evening wasn't as easy as this. I don't think you expected perhaps to be in this position right now.
Not at all, you know, it's come to our advantage now. It was a bit of a lottery before with the weather, you know, it was really difficult, and I think now it's a real races track, and we're all pumped for it, you know, we don't want to let it slip now, let me tell you.
Gritty bunch you are, yeah?
Let's hope, yeah, definitely, all the boys have done really well.
Doesn't matter what the sport, they're very gritty.
Robbed them 2 points from this heat, and they are certainly world champions tonight. This is heat 24. The 2 points, it means that Jason Crump has to finish no further back than third to clinch the World Cup.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's more than capable of doing that. We're just seeing the inside of the starting gate just fly up there, and they're broken. But Jason Crump on that gate too there, I'm sure he's going to be able to pull this out of the bag for the Aussies. The Aussies have performed.
The starting gate here. The man in red's the one to watch, Jason Crump. He's pursued to the first bend. Peter Carlson picks it up, but Crump is now in third place, and this will be enough. He could make second here, but the Dane is going down the outside is Bjarne Pedersen. The Pole is back in fourth place. That's Thomas Golob in blue. Back at the rear in green there is Alice Trimmel. Crump would not normally settle for third place, and I wonder if he will here, Kelvin.
No, I don't think he will. I think he's coming under an awful lot of pressure from Thomas Golob, but Bjarne Pedersen again really starring here tonight. Came flying past Peter Carlson, flying around the outside. And right now, though, the Aussies are hanging on to those 2 points, and it looks like it could be their night.
Less than half the race to go. Down the back straight, Bjarne Pedersen in front for Denmark. Back in second place in yellow for Sweden is Peter Carlson. But the man all this crowd is watching is in third place. It's Jason Crump. These points will be enough for Australia to take the world title. They now have 250 metres to go. Crump looks like moving into second place. The battle for second place is crucial. Out front, Bjarne Pedersen is going to win it, but the Australians will be singing because Jason Crump takes third place. Jason Crump ensures the Australians now can celebrate because they have won the World Cup. Bjarne Pedersen may have won the race for the Danes. The Swedes may have come second, but the victory is there. It's glory for Australia. They are World Cup champions, and Jason Crump, a man we've seen so much to the fore in Speedway in recent years, has once again won the World Cup for Australia.
You're world champion.
What a feeling. I'm 34 now, I'm the old one of the team, and I don't know what to say.
Hell of a display by you guys, because you didn't start well, did it?
No, we didn't at all, and we didn't start well in Sheffield. And commiserations to Sweden, they should have done a little better out of that, but England. But I feel we deserve to win tonight.
Well, let's see if we can go and find...
Yeah, you know, it was not quite a performance like I had last year, but proves that it's a team event, and we all chipped in well tonight, you know, and we've got the result in the end, and that's what counts.
You knew this was going to be a big year, both for you and for Australia. It's turning out both ways at the moment.
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of running into a bit of form, and you know, my performance tonight didn't set the world on fire, but we had a good, solid, you know, unit, and that's what wins your team world championships, and we've done it like 3 of the last 4 years now, and we're pretty keen to keep hold of it for a while.
What was going through your mind as you were there in 3rd place, but you didn't need to drop anywhere, but what was going through your mind in that last lap?
No, just, you know, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed, a little bit frustrated with the lack of maintenance on the track. You know, the weather hasn't been ideal. There's been very little work done on the track through the course of the evening, and right now it's really slippery and slimy, and it's hard to go anywhere when you're behind, but we've done the job, we've done what we came here to do, and it doesn't matter in what fashion you do it.
Well done again. There's one more heat.
Certainly the Australians here, they have 4 of the team that was victorious last year.
Yeah.
Ryan Sullivan will celebrate, everybody will celebrate, but here for the Australians, we look across the lineup here. Ryan Sullivan goes in this heat for the Australians. They're number 5.
I think the
World Cup 2002 here at the East of England Showground. The heads are down, the tapes fly up, and away they go. And on the inside, Michael Carlson steals a march for the Swedes. Round the outside for the Aussies. Looking to put icing on the cake is Ryan Sullivan. Down that back straight in pursuit of the Swedes. In white there is Nicky Pedersen for Denmark. Taken wide on the inside the pole is Krzysztof Ciegelski. But the Australians are celebrating yet again because Ryan Sullivan is extending that lead, extending the victory celebrations. A great ride by Sullivan.
Yeah, this is what we're used to from Ryan Sullivan. He came out of gate 5 and he swooped round the outside. And Nicky Pedersen there forging past Michael Carlson. What an effort by the Danes tonight. They have ridden out of their socks. They really have surpassed everybody's expectations of their team this evening.
Well, the Danes, we know about their effort as a team. They've done brilliantly here in the race-off. They've done brilliantly here tonight. And it looks now as if Nicky Pedersen will take the 2nd place. That will put the Danes into 2nd place in this World Cup here tonight. Back in 3rd for Sweden is Michael Carlson. The winner undoubtedly will be Ryan Sullivan. But now we're going to see some celebrations for the Danes as well. In 2nd place, Nicky Pedersen salutes the crowd. 3rd in yellow is Michael Carlson. 4th in blue for the Poles. There is Krzysztof Ciegelski. But what a ride by Ryan Sullivan to win it. The Danes are celebrating, though, certainly the Australian flag waving again, but I'm sure the Danes take some of the glory here for this. Denmark 58, Sweden 54, Poland 48, the Czech Republic 36. The Australians' 5th World Cup victory. Denmark have won it 11 times.
Deserve this bottle of bubbly. How was it for you tonight?
Okay, first I will say thank you to the guys up there, and that was fantastic. It's my biggest night in my career, so and I'm pleased with everything. My mechanic and the Danish team is fantastic team spirit.
And your celebration amongst the team, it was as though you'd won the World Cup, but it wasn't far off, was it?
No, I have a couple of good races out there tonight, so that was great, and we do it.
Nicky's just to the side of you. This is the man of the match. You must be pleased with him tonight.
It's so perfect. It's team spirit, as I told you before. When we went into the final, you know, and it's not just about one rider, it's all 5 riders being out and doing so well tonight. It's incredible.
How big is this, both of you, for Denmark? Because you guys have got such a history. You've had the most accomplished history in this sport in terms of winning. It's been a few years since you've been right up there. Are you getting there now with this team?
The thing is, you know, we've been fed up with Speedway about all the riders have been winning and winning and winning, you know, so in 3-4 years' time, definitely we'll be on top of the podium, you know, individually as well. Now we're 2nd in the world of the team, you know, so we got a big trope like, you know, 5, 6, 7 riders going in, and we can do it now.
Well, let you celebrate, because there's more celebrations going on down here. Come with me, boys, as we fight. Fantastic.
Yeah, we're stoked, you know. They made us work hard. And,
I'm fine, don't worry about me.
all the boys deserve it, full team effort, and world champions again.
Now listen, it's been a tough year, but and a tough day too. At the beginning of the evening, you guys were looking down.
Yeah, you know, we took a lot of rain on the track again, and it proved a bit tacky for everyone, and we battled down once again and managed to get it right and kept winning races.
And what about a week for Todd Wiltshire? Superb, huh?
He has to be the man of the moment, you know. He pulled us right through it twice now.
I gotta let you go or I'm gonna get run over, so I'm out of here.
You know?
Yeah, it was a tough meeting, wasn't it? It's a tough end of the evening. Who are these, your mates?
It's great to have great teammates, isn't it? They really look after me. No, you know, it was a fantastic meeting for us. You know, halfway through the meeting, I actually didn't look at the points. I was pretty focused on racing, and I thought we were behind, and then we looked and 2 points up. So, you know, the boys dug deep. I really think we proved tonight that we were the true world champions. You know, I don't think there was any home track advantage with the weather being the way it was. You know, everybody rode fantastic.
You and Ryan again, top scoring for the Aussies, and I know it's a team sport, but you put your bit in and you had to do it when you needed to.
Yeah, you know, I was very focused tonight and wanted to do well. You know, we really wanted to clinch this one, especially, you know, we really messed up 2 years ago at Coventry, and we didn't want that situation again, so we all worked very hard. I felt sorry for Jason Lyons. He had some real bad luck and some pretty tough times, but, you know, we just proved that we've got a great team and 5 riders that can put it together on a night.
Finally, Lee, I mean, you know, no British team involved tonight. The atmosphere awesome. The Aussies have won, and the crowds have come out in their throngs.
I think it was a little bit of an advantage that you know, the English weren't here, because I think everyone swung the Aussie way, all the supporters. So it was a great atmosphere. You know, it was fantastic. You know, it was, you know, just an awesome night for us.
Thanks again, Lee. Congratulations, and once again, Keith, tell me what this means to you.
It means a lot, Jonathan. This is it's the best that's happened for Danish Speedway for a long, long time. The boys has worked so hard for this, the whole team, mechanics, girlfriend, everyone. It's tremendous. I mean, I had tears in my eyes 2 heats before the last one, so I'm so delighted. They've really done the job well.
Listen, congratulations again. I know it's been a hard-fought long time, and we'll see you next year, and who knows?